we're going to look at mapping diagrams and deciding whether something is a function or not a function. So if we look at this, we're mapping 1 here onto 5, or we're mapping 2 onto 10. Now each single value there mapped onto its own unique value in the range. So we're going to call this a 1 to 1 mapping. More than that, we're going to think about it graphically. We're just going to think what it looks like graphically. 1 going on to 5, 2 going on to 10. So we might have something like this. It's kind of a linear mapping arrangement. And we can see simply that will pass the vertical line test. So it is a function. But more importantly, if it's 1 to 1, it's always a function. So let's have a look at a more complicated one. Okay, so in this one, 1 maps onto 3, 2 maps onto 4, but it also maps onto -4. I'm just going to concentrate on that. So what we've got here is one value in the domain that goes on to many values. It doesn't matter about the other ones, we can almost ignore everything else. Once we found this 2 going on to 4 and going on to -4, that becomes a 1 to many. What does it look like graphically? Well, let's just pick on this value of x being 2, say here. Well, it maps onto when y is 4, but it also maps onto when y is -4. Now, if we were to do a vertical line test through here, the vertical line would pass through these 2 points. So we would end up not having a function rather, because it fails a vertical line. So this is not a function. And anytime you have a 1 to many, it's not a function. So we've done a 1 to 1, done a 1 to many. The last case is a many to 1. Now let's just have a look at the mapping diagram. What do I mean by many to 1? Well, -2 goes to 4, but 4 also goes to 2. So we've got many values here coming to one value. What does that look like graphically? Well, this one, -2, so let's put x as -2 here, and that maps onto 4 here, and 2 also maps onto 4, and actually we've got 1 mapping onto 1, and -1 mapping onto 1, and 0. We've actually got a quadratic here. But more importantly, because you are not going to fail the straight line test, the vertical straight line test, any many to 1 is always a function. So a quick recap. Many to 1, function. 1 to many, not a function. 1 to 1, function.